Good afternoon, everybody, for live chats with Maggie and Bunny. Today is Monday, May 22nd, here where we are, and it's a Canadian holiday, Victoria Day. So I'm away at the cottage. If you just look over my shoulder, you can see I'm outside in the hut. You may hear some noises of off-roading people, some animals. I can't even say what might happen here because sometimes magic is messy, which is what we're going to talk about today. How are you where you are, Bunny?
Everything's going on normal here in Niagara Falls. I'm staying inside and away from everything because, of course, being May 24 weekend, it is very, very busy. It looks like a lot of people have remembered what it's like to be tourists. So the Niagara Falls is super busy. Everything stays open on the holidays here. So even people like where you're from in St. Catharines, if they need to go shopping at like Walmart or grocery stores, they'll come into Niagara Falls too because everything's open. So it gets extremely busy on the holidays. So.
For sure. So our topic today is sometimes magic is messy. And what first comes to mind when I say that today, for me, is sometimes things don't go as planned. And sometimes something that you think is not so good turns out to be very magical. Mm-hmm. And the one example that I can speak of for that is one time when I lost my job. I was called into the owner's office quite unexpectedly. And the first sentence out of her mouth was, "The direction of this company no longer includes you." And I said, yes, because it meant that I could then go on to live my passions and I could go on to be doing what I'm doing right now. But for some people at the time, that might be messy. You might have emotions of, I just got put out of my job for nothing. They don't need me. You know, it can bring emotions and feelings that cause stuff going on in your head that gets a little messy. And you don't see the magic at the time. But now in hindsight, I see the magic of that moment because it was the synchronicities for me to get to where I am right now and to be able to do what I'm doing right now, which is what I love. We talked about earlier. I'm up here, you're in Niagara. Yeah. We're doing our live today, and then we're done working.
Yeah, exactly. We're done.
Our work week this week is 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about you, Bunny? When you think about that, magic can be messy. What comes to your mind first?
Well, I mean, when we talk, so we were talking about it because we do talk a little bit about it at the beginning. Not exactly what we're going to talk about, but sort of what direction we want to go to for the podcast. And my main thing is with the laws of assumption and with the laws of attraction and all those kind of things, and allowing the universe to meet the needs of my desire. So like whatever it is that I desire, putting it out there to the world, but then letting it go, letting the outcome go, and letting the universe kind of do its magic to figure out how it's going to deliver that thing to me. And it's funny how it happens sometimes. Like even like something so silly as, we'll talk about this, is yesterday I was contemplating dessert. I was like, I kind of feel like I want to have something for dessert. And I was like, I don't know what I want. What do I want for dessert? And I was trying to think about where I could go, what I could get, when all of a sudden I was sitting and I looked out the window and I'd seen a car pull up, and it was my mom. And I said, what is my mom doing here? And she called me and said, you want to come outside and get a pie? So she had baked a pie for a strawberry rhubarb pie. I had no idea she was baking that. So it was really funny. So now the universe provided me with a dessert. And it was so, I was like, thank you. So that to me is like those kind of things where when you put that desire out there and just kind of allow the universe to provide that, that's the magic that we're talking about. Now, being that it's sometimes messy is exactly what you said. Sometimes it doesn't look like the way that we expected. And in the tarot with the tower card, that's a prime example, is when the tower card shows you that something is going to crumble down and then it's going to build on top of that. And sometimes you need that that thing to be able to change, sometimes you need the first thing to kind of clear out of the way. And
Yeah.
so that's what for me, for magic is messy, that could mean.
Yeah. Sometimes we need things gone
Mhm.
before there's room for magic.
Right,
And
exactly.
whether it is something physical or just something in our mindset, or maybe a past generational thing that needs to be healed.
Right,
There's so many different ways that you can look at what needs to be gone.
right.
And it's kind of even like you and I were talking a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday, I don't know, about that sometimes, even though I'm the kind of person who follows the direction of my soul, but sometimes I still like to steer the cart.
Yeah,
And you use the analogy of the horse and buggy wagon.
yeah,
I still need to take control and know where I'm going and stuff like that. And sometimes those magic moments need us to say, okay, yeah, I don't need to know where I'm going. I just need to go.
yeah,
I just need to trust. And that's when magic happens, is when we're able to set that intention and just let it go.
right.
How it happens is none
Yeah,
of our business.
yeah. None of
Sometimes
our
the how doesn't have to be our business.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
and
let
it's
it.
hard. It's really hard. I mean, both of us having been single moms too, where we, if we didn't do whatever we needed to do, like our family wasn't taken care of. We were the
Yeah,
ones who had to do all of it all the time, and so it was. So it's really hard to transition from being people who always have to do in that physical world, and making sure that our not only ourselves but our children survive and thrive,
yeah,
and move forward. And so when you brought up the analogy again of the wagon, and it's because I told you were on the reins and you were pulling the reins back. And
yeah,
so I got another little bit actually when you just brought it up right now. And I would assume this is how it happens, but you can still hold the reins, but lightly, just
yeah,
enough that you're like still kind of guiding the way, but not pulling, not resisting. And
yeah,
that's what the biggest thing is. And that's what I think a lot of times what it is that we do. We have to get out of our own way. We have to stop
yeah,
resisting the things. So we have to pull that energy of resistance away from us, and we have to kind of let it go a little bit, and let
yeah,
go of that need to control and the doing.
yeah,
And that's the biggest thing, is like we don't always have to be doing something, which
yeah,
I think is why for today on my Bunny Keating Facebook page, the soul message that I got yesterday for today was rest. And it was just because sometimes that is the best thing that you can do, is just
yeah,
be silent and rest. So
yeah.
going to a cottage is a good thing to do, is go and rest. So
And that's where, like, when you talk about that resistance, because although we may want something in particular and we're working towards something and we're trying to manifest something in our life, we
yeah,
truly do want it, but we're still resistant to change
yes,
because we like to stay within our comfort zone, even
right,
though we want that thing. It's like I heard somebody else speak about it before, and it was like, I want that thing over there, but when I get it, then I want that something else.
yeah,
And it's resisting the need to control what we want and just let it change on its own and let it come to
mhm,
us what we're asking for. Because when we're genuinely real with ourselves and through our soul, we know what it is that we want
right,
and we know what it is that we need.
yeah,
But resisting is still the part of magic that sometimes is difficult
right,
because it plays up at all different times in our life. It could be through our dreams. I
yep,
know I've had dreams that make me pull in those reins. Oh, maybe I
yeah,
can't do this because maybe this isn't right. When I know full well it is right,
yeah,
but it's just because it's a change. Things sometimes that are radically changing for the good still cause us to resist.
and well, there's a little bit of fear of that, right? Because you don't
Yeah,
know. And I think that's what the biggest thing is. When things are happening, when things are changing, even if you ask for that desire and you're getting that desire, you don't know all that it entails, all that it holds for you. And so sometimes you can be a little bit scared, and that's where a lot of
yeah.
that resistance comes from, is just that fear of the unknown. So yeah, But that's
So
definitely
for our
magic.
listeners and our viewers today, we want you to say, embrace the magic.
Embrace.
Embrace the magic, even though it's messy. Let it be messy. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just embrace it, because that magic's going to come your way.
It's always happening. Without us even
Every
realizing
day.
it. Every day. So
Every day.
I think
Just
that's
like Bunny's little baby birds who left their nest.
yes, they left
Magic
my
is
nest.
always happening.
Life is always happening all around us all the time. We can't stop it. But
Yeah.
I think that's going to be it for us today. So happy Victoria Day to all of our Canadian friends. And that is it for Monday, May 22nd. Remember, you can find us where you find all of your podcasts, as well as on our Facebook page on Monday afternoon, and email us at ataboveandbeyond@gmail.com. Bye for today.
Bye for today. Hey, we worked on a holiday, Bunny. Woo!
Bye.
See you later.